dun, dun. Okay, some candy for Tyler's guest. Let's see, what did he want? What did he want? Okay, I guess we're like making a green room for this person, whatever. Don't really know who it is, but I guess it's one of their closest friends, so I'll buy some candy. Okay, sour. I guess I'll buy some
Hey there,
sour, some sweet.
miss.
Oh, hello.
Hey, miss, welcome into the candy store.
Oh, thank you.
This is the Swedish Candy Emporium.
Oh, amazing. I've been hearing about this stuff on TikTok, so I thought I would come in.
Yes, seems like you're having some trouble making your selection, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of complicated, but my close friend Tyler is having one of his close friends on, and he requested that I get some snacks, but I don't really know his friend, so it's kind of hard to make decisions. I guess I want to kind of pick a little bit of everything.
Well, the beautiful thing about Swedish candy is that there's something for everyone. You can
Oh,
try our classics like gummy birds and chocolate covered deer.
oh, sorry. Let's go back to the first one. Gummy birds?
Gummy birds, the classic kind of Swedish candy. All sorts of birds featured.
That's so funny because I've heard of Swedish fish, but I haven't heard of Swedish birds.
Swedish fish is kind of like American Chinese food, where it's sort of inspired by what we got going on, but it's an entirely different cultural creation.
Oh, got it. Okay, so that's like an Americanized like thing.
It's Swedish American.
Oh, is that a big community?
They have a huge community. Here in the city, we have a whole neighborhood, Little Sweden.
Oh, in the city you have one. That is so cool. Very fun. How long
In the
how long
big
ago did you
city.
in the big city? Yeah. How long ago did you get here?
About 7 to 8 months ago.
Oh, very recent.
Yes.
Very cool. How are you liking America so far?
Oh, it's nice, you know. But I do miss the homeland a little bit.
The homeland of Sweden.
The homeland of Sweden.
What do you miss the most? I've actually never been to Sweden. I'd love to visit though.
Well, I guess I miss the elk.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, I miss my pet elk.
Oh, you have a pet elk? What's his name? Or hers? Sorry, or theirs.
Thank you for being inclusive. My elk's name is Leaf. Lief.
Lief.
Leaf
Is
the
that how you,
elk.
Leaf the elk?
Leaf the elk.
Leaf the elk. Is the elk the last name?
The elk.
Oh, there we go. There's a
His
TH in
last
there.
name is Steifenson. Because my name is Steiefen.
Oh, so he's like Steven's son.
Leaf
Very
Stephenson.
Leaf Stephenson
But I
with an
guess
S.
his name might not be Stephenson anymore because I had to give him away.
Oh, did you at least get to pick the new family that Leaf goes with?
No, I had to send him to the glue farm.
Oh,
In
oh,
Sweden, we make glue out of elk. But I had
really?
to pay for my boat ticket to sail back to the United States.
Oh, back to the United States. So you've been
Yes,
here
I had
before.
come on holiday when I was a child.
Oh, okay. So you kind of mean back, like way back.
Way back in the day, yes. But it made me want to come here and open my Swedish candy shop, which had always been my dream, so that I could sell candies like gummy birds and chocolate covered deer.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. And were you a candy man back home too, or is this a
No.
new adventure?
America is the land of opportunity. That is
Mm-hmm.
something that I had been told, and as we are, celebrating the 4th of July holiday, I
Yep.
really do need to appreciate the fact that in America I could open a Swedish candy store, whereas in Sweden I was nothing but a lowly ice farmer.
Oh, you farmed the ice.
Farmed the ice in Sweden.
And is that what Leaf helped you with?
Leaf helped me because we had to put the ice blocks on the sled, and Leaf would pull the sled for me.
Oh, that's very sweet. Do you feel like was Leaf kind of your closest friend back home?
Leaf was most certainly my closest friend back home, and I miss him dearly. But I got a little bottle of the glue that was made
Oh,
using his bones and collagen. So I can apply that when
wow.
I'm making collages, pictures from my time in Sweden with Leaf.
Oh, that's very sweet, I think.
But not as sweet as the gummy birds and other kinds
Oh,
of Swedish candy that I have for sale here at Steifen's Swedish Candy Emporium.
yes, yes. I was walking down the street and I mean, I have this long list of all these candies I need to get.
Mmm.
And then I looked up and I saw Steven's Swedish Candy Emporium.
Stiefen.
Oh, Stephen.
Stiefen.
Stephen.
S
Am I saying
T
that right?
E I E F E N. Stephen.
Okay, I'm gonna try to remember that for later when I give you a Yelp review. 5 stars, by the
Please.
way.
Please yelp to everyone and tell them, yep, Stephen's Candy Emporium is the best place to buy your gummy birds and your chocolate covered deer.
Dear, right. And I'm kind of looking around the place and I'm noticing mostly gummy birds and mostly chocolate covered deer. And I've also noticed that that's mostly what you've mentioned.
Yes, that is very
Are
traditional in Sweden.
are they the only two Swedish candies?
Only two, but there are lots of varieties because we have gummy birds of all sorts of species.
And is it like a mixed situation or do you have to kind of pick your species?
No, you can grab a bag and pick as many species as you want, and we'll weigh it out for you in kilograms.
Oh, in kilograms.
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to admit I'm not super familiar with kilograms, if I'm being totally honest.
But that's okay, it's just about the weight of one block of ice.
Okay, 1 kilogram equals 1 block of ice. Got it. And how many blocks of ice? Sorry, it's sad to keep bringing up Leaf so much, but how many blocks of ice could Leaf carry?
Leaf could carry about 50 blocks of ice at once.
50 blocks of ice,
Leaf was a
very strong.
strong elk, yes. But it also helped because the weight gets lesser as you go along because, of course, the ice would melt. Leaf had to
Oh,
bring in about 50 blocks of ice, but by the time we got to the ice market, there'd only be about 35 or so left.
really?
That's
So
part of
you
the
could
reason
only,
why I love candy.
because candy doesn't melt
Candy does not melt, except for the chocolate covered deer if you leave it out in the sun for too long.
in the sun, right? But you wouldn't do that.
No, that's why I keep it nice and air conditioned in here.
Yes. And
Another
do you,
brilliant invention of the United States.
oh, they don't have air conditioning in
No, it's
Sweden?
too cold in Sweden. We are up almost by the North Pole.
Oh, so you don't need it,
Do
is what you're
not need
saying.
it even for a minute. During the winter
You,
time, it's never day.
oh, well, that's too bad. There's no day at all.
Not even a little bit.
So where did the what did the birds and the deer and the elk do when it's all dark and stuff?
They hibernate
So do they hibernate like most of the year?
most of the year. They're very well rested. That's why elk could carry so many kilograms of ice.
Got it. So when he was doing the 50 kilograms of ice and then it melted into 35 and you sold it at the ice market,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
was that during a very brief amount of the year because he was mostly hibernating?
Yes, that was during our summer weekend.
Oh, your summer weekend?
Summer weekend.
And is that just a classic 2 day weekend or was it ever a longer weekend?
No, it's just sort of a classic 2 day weekend.
A 2 day weekend.
And
Interesting.
that's
Oh, well,
when we do our midsummer celebration. Where we all wear white and sort of roll around in the grass.
just kind of roll around. And is the grass sort of muddy from all the ice that's
Yes,
kind
from
of
all of the
melted?
ice blocks that we've brought around, because it is midsummer tradition that we have some iced beverage, lingonberry juice, and we munch on our gummy birds and our chocolate covered deer.
Oh, okay. So that's really really traditional. Almost so traditional that it's at the celebration. The
Mm-hmm.
one celebration it sounds like a
The
year.
one celebration of the entire year. And it's your lucky day because Midsummer weekend lines up with the 4th of July holiday here in the United States.
Oh,
So we're having our Midsummer sale.
very exciting. So everything's a little priced down right
Yes,
now.
everything is about €1 off.
So sorry, you take euro only?
We're a traditional Swedish candy store.
That is interesting. Do you do currency exchange here?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I do not think so.
Has anyone, I don't want to be rude. Has anyone bought anything from this store before?
Not quite yet, miss. By the
And you've
way,
been
what
here.
is your name? I don't think I caught it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Caitlin.
Oh, Caitlin, it's a pleasure to meet you,
Yes.
Stephen.
Stephen.
Stephen Erickson, because my dad's name is Eric.
Got it. I get how that works. So I guess if Leaf had a son, there it'd be Leafson.
Leafson, but Leaf cannot have a son because he is glue.
Yep. That glue right there.
They ran in my hand, this vessel
The
of glue.
collage glue.
The
Very
collage glue.
cool.
As you can
That
see,
is
I have covered the walls of the store in collage.
so many collages. And it's mostly pictures of ice, I will
Mostly
say.
ice, yes. I really miss the ice.
Yeah. And then it seems like you've made one very small 2x2 collage of Midsummer, kind
Yes,
of to honor the 2-day weekend
yes, of
of the
course.
holiday.
The way
So
that
are you
it
planning?
sort of falls as 2 days in the middle of the year and the eternal winter.
Right. So it's kind of a 2-day celebration. Are you planning on going home for the holiday, or are you hoping to celebrate Midsummer here?
No, I'm hoping to celebrate it here and to sell my candies, such as gummy birds and chocolate covered deer.
And chocolate covered deer, absolutely. And finally make
The first
that
sale,
first
and then I
sale.
will take that euro and I will collage it to the wall. And every time somebody comes in here, I will say, well, that was my first sale here in Little Sweden in the United States of America on Midsummer Day
In the big city,
in the
no
big
less.
city. The
You
biggest.
seem like you've got it all figured out. I do
Well,
have one question.
oh, what's that, Katen?
You sort of made almost like a bill motion when you said that you would be putting up the euro. And I've only ever seen euros be a coin. So I was wondering if maybe in Sweden they're not coins. Do you have paper, one euro paper?
Yeah, there are paper euros all across Europe. But in Sweden, we mostly use the paper euros because, the coin euros, they're very heavy. And all of our elk
Mm,
are already preoccupied with the 50 or so kilograms of ice they have to sled
ice,
around.
right. So do
And
you ever
so,
kind of do you start adding on like as the journey to the ice market um kind of goes on and there's less for Leaf to hold on his sled, can you start putting more money on there?
yes, of course, but the paper euro is pretty much negligible in terms of weight. Because one paper euro is probably, I don't know, 1/100th of a kilogram.
Probably.
Very
I wish there
small.
was a way to measure a 100th of a kilogram.
It is lost on me almost entirely.
Almost, almost entirely. I have a question because it seems like you've kind of been in sales for a while, but obviously, it's been a bit slow in the big city, which I understand. It's hard to make it in the big city for sure.
Very difficult.
Did you ever make a sale of ice
No,
back home?
because ice is really super like common in Sweden, so
Right,
it was one of those things where I would go to the ice market and I would be waiting for somebody to come around and buy the ice, but they wouldn't because everything is ice, especially during the eternal winter.
right.
But the only 2 days where people would want some ice would be midsummer, where the sun comes out. The only problem is that because the sun's out, all of the ice melts almost immediately, so I cannot sell the ice.
The ice completely melts over those
Completely
2 days,
melts over the
and then it
2 days.
just boom right
Well,
back
yes,
up for
because it's
eternal winter.
water.
Right.
The ice melts, then there's about sort of about half a meter of water. Um,
Okay.
maybe one could call it like a 1/100th of a meter of water.
Of water. I wish
Yes,
there was a way to, yep, measure
it is
that.
completely lost on me. English is second language, and
Totally.
this layer of water kind of is all across the plains of Sweden.
Hmm.
And then after this show of the midsummer, everybody dances and we jump around the poles and
And
we
you
put the
roll on the
flowers in our
grass,
hair
it
and we
sounds
roll in
like.
the grass and get a little wet because the grass is of course
And what do you
covered by
eat?
a. Oh, we eat the gummy birds and the chocolate covered deer, and then after that, and the sun goes back down for the rest of the year, and that is when the ice reforms, and then it's back to work for me and Leaf. Except, I guess, not with Leaf anymore.
Right. And also not for you anymore because
No,
you've
because I'm here in Little
moved.
Sweden in the big city selling gummy birds and chocolate covered deer.
Chocolate covered deer. And I guess I'll ask a question about chocolate covered deer now,
Of
if I
course.
may. So it's deer meat that's covered in chocolate?
Yes, it's deer meat.
Okay, so it's kind of like a jerky.
Yes, exactly. It's a jerky that's doing sort of a sweet and salty combination.
Oh, okay. I don't know
Like
if
when
you've
you
had.
dip your french fry in your milkshake. I understand that is the classic American dish.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. You've done that, have you?
Yes, I have. I have done. It was first thing I did when I touched down on the off of the boat.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That sounds fun. And did you feel like was that kind of the first one you went for because ice cream reminded you like
Of the
milkshakes
ice
are
at
cold?
home,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. How are you finding the summer heat? It must be so different for you.
It is a bit tricky, I must admit, because as I said during Midsummer, I was very used to being wet, but that was because of the thin layer of water across the plains,
The
and
plains
not
of
because
Sweden.
I was sweating. But now I am just profusely sweating every time I walk outside. So that's why I keep the candy store very nice and cold here in the
Yeah,
Swedish candy store.
very nice. That is so cool. Well, if you don't mind, could I get a sample of one of the birds? Just pick
Yes,
your
of course.
favorite species one.
Ooh, my favorite species of gummy bird. Well, you have the classics, of course, like
Of course.
sparrow and robin, woodpecker,
Hmm.
and rock dove.
Okay.
But if you want to do a little bit more colorful flavor, of course, we
Hmm.
have toucan and
Oh,
flamingo.
I guess I'll try the toucan. That sounds
Okie
kind of
dokie.
interesting.
And how many kilograms of toucan do you want?
Ooh.
Just a sample,
Uh
just a sample. I can get you just one,
yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah. Maybe I could just if I could try it first, that'd be awesome.
Okie dokie, here is a gummy bird toucan flavor for you.
Thank you. Oh,
Oh,
ah,
it
that
seems
was
your tooth chipped.
yeah, that was a harder gummy than I think I was expecting.
Well,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
The way we make it in Sweden is that it is
Uh-huh.
made of mostly, well, maple syrup because we have a lot of maple syrup trees. And we
Uh-huh.
just sort of let the syrup calcify over the course of, the eternal winter. And
Uh-huh.
so it comes out rather hard. But in Sweden, we have very tough teeth because we eat mostly ice for the entirety of the year.
Oh, that's the food too.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I guess I don't know. This sounds ridiculous. Is there any chance you know how to I don't know, somehow adhe adhese use some form of adhesive to put my tooth back together?
Let me see your tooth for a second.
Yeah, here.
And you have the piece that broke off? Oh, yes, it's
Yep,
still stuck in the gummy toucan.
yep,
Let me pull
right
that out
there.
for you.
Thank you.
Well, this looks like a flattened, sort of, rigid piece. We might be able to glue it back on with a little bit of elk glue.
Oh, the leaf glue.
Yes. Oh, it's like Leaf is with me right now. Once again, helping me make friends. After losing my closest friend back in Sweden, I guess
Right.
it's I guess it's been nice to get to know you, Miss Caitlin. And I hope
Yeah.
this act of community
Hmm.
sticks with you. And I know that it's going to literally stick with you when I apply some of the leaf's elk glue to your tooth.
Yes.
Okie
Perfect.
dokie. Can you hold this in your hand for me?
Yes.
Okie
And I just
dokie.
want to say it's kind of, I mean, I find it kind of beautiful. I feel like you're giving me a piece of your closest friend, and then I'm going to buy some candy for my closest friend's closest friend. It's just, it's kind of like a little Sweden of our own.
Oh, that is really, really something to think about.
Yep.
That really
Think on it.
touched me. That really
Yeah.
pulled on my heartstrings.
Well, don't
Okay.
pull too hard.
No.
We might have to glue it back together.
Oh, Miss Caitlin, you are very funny. Have you ever
Thank
thought
you.
about doing comedy?
No, I just that's it doesn't seem like totally for me
That makes
personally.
sense, yeah.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
here is the elk glue, and I unscrew the top. Okay, and I have the little wand here with the elf glue on top.
Perfect.
And
It's like white out.
you're holding the toothpiece out for me. And I just brush a little bit onto the toothpiece. And not too
Mhm.
much. And be very careful now as you stick it back onto your tooth.
Mhm.
And just let it rest there for a
Uh
second.
huh.
Maybe I
Uh
blow on
huh.
it so it dries a little faster.
Oh, please, yeah, that'd be great. Oh, oh, staccato.
Okay, and then take it back and let's see how it goes. Is it stuck on?
Yes,
Well, that is perfect.
amazing.
Back
Leaf
in
is
the
a strong one.
yes. Oh, he's very mighty. He spent most of the year hibernating, of course. So his muscles were dense and his bones were gelatinous, perfect for glue.
Well, that gelatinous makes me think of gummies.
Well, of course. How else are we supposed to make our Swedish gummies? Like I said, there's
Oh,
a bit of the calcified maple syrup, but then the other flavoring comes in, which is from elk glue. It's the main ingredient in all of our candies.
oh,
It even
okay,
helps the chocolate stick onto the chocolate covered deer.
okay. So it was mostly glue that I was eating
Mostly
there.
glue that you were eating, and now the
That
glue's in
would
your mouth
explain the
once again.
taste. Yes, exactly. Now it's like I permanently have a Swedish candy in my mouth.
With you all the time. As a
That is
memory of
so
Little
exciting.
Sweden and the Midsummer holiday, and your time with me, Steiefen, at Steifen's Candy Emporium.
Yep, that's Stephen's Swedish
Stiefen.
Candy Emporium.
Stiefen Swedish Candy Emporium.
It's beautiful. Do you ever feel like IKEA might take you out of business?
You know, that's a little bit tricky. Because, in Sweden, if you're not an ice farmer, you work at IKEA. It's sort of one of the two options that you have.
Right.
And I came to America, the land of the opportunity, so that I didn't have to be an ice farmer and I didn't have to be an IKEA furniture assemblyman, and instead I could open a Swedish candy emporium. But
Give me one
as I've
second.
come to America, oh yes, you have a question.
Yes. In Sweden, do the people working at IKEA put together the furniture?
Yes, they do.
That is interesting because here, kind of the premise of IKEA is you put together the furniture for yourself,
That
I
is
think.
very confusing to me because I could have sworn that my dad Eric would go to
Yeah,
work every day to put the furniture together. I mean, in Sweden, all we know is put the furniture together.
that's all you know?
All we know. Which
Okay.
means that maybe there is some sort of larger conspiracy at play here, where they are disassembling the furniture before sending it to America?
It does sort of seem like that, doesn't it? Because I promise you, like the main thing about IKEA is that you put your own furniture together. It's kind of like a Lego set.
Oh, I love Legos.
Oh, you do?
But
Then
what
you
I
would have
don't
loved
like.
working at the IKEA factory, it sounds like.
Now that's a good point.
Right.
Hmm. Maybe IKEA would have been a good option for me.
Right. I
Maybe
mean,
this whole venture to Little Sweden in the big city in the United States was sort of ill conceived. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anybody here besides you, Miss Caitlin, and the other Swedish people who came with me, but, they're busy all day doing whatever they're up to.
you don't know what they're up to.
I don't. They don't
Were you
talk
all
to
on
me.
the? Oh no. These were all the people that were on the same boat as you when you came?
Yes.
They don't speak to you?
They don't speak to me because, well, on the boat I did something really terrible.
Stephen, what did you do?
Well, I made a bit of a mess.
What kind of a mess?
Well, you see, I got a little seasick on the boat because I had never been on water that wasn't frozen before.
That makes sense.
And it was rocking back and forth and back and forth. And, I had brought in a bag of Swedish candy with me on the boat because it was, my motivating object so
Hmm.
that I could make it to the United States and open my Swedish candy emporium. And
Hmm.
so I had been eating all of these gummy birds. And, once the boat hit a big wave and, well, silly old Stephen threw up everywhere. Vomit all across the deck. And
Oh,
because this was mostly glue in my stomach,
right.
it stuck to everything. And so people were
Oh,
trapped in
wow.
place on the
They're
boat
trapped in your vomit.
in my vomit. I was the only one who was free from the vomit. So I had to steer the boat all the way to America. And of
Oh,
course, I got lost on the way, took a little
right.
roundabout turns. Then we finally ended up at the big city,
Uh-huh.
3 days later than anticipated because it was supposed to be a 7 day journey. It took 10 days.
So it goes.
So it goes. And the people were very mad at me because we had to use all of our money to buy glue remover, anti adhesive, so that they could be free of my vomit.
Uh-huh. So you all had to pull together your money.
We had to put together our money. So by the
Hmm.
time we came here and started building Little Sweden, we had very little funds to work with.
Okay. So Little Sweden was started 7 to 8 months ago,
Yes,
and you guys were the first ones to
first
come.
people to come.
Got it. And they all hate you because you got them stuck in their vomit, and then you made
In
them
my vomit.
in your vomit, and then you made them spend all their money
To buy
on
glue remover by
glue
when we
remover.
came into the port 3 days later than anticipated.
Right. And the 3 days later, do you think that's the main issue for
Yes,
people?
Swedish people are very punctual.
Okay, so it was a punctuality issue.
It's sort of a cultural thing because we only have 2 days of sunlight a year, so it's like
Right.
time really matters to
Time
them.
is of the essence.
Of the
Yeah.
essence, yes.
And I mean, I guess you probably also were like excited to see the big city and start your new little Sweden and everything, and then
Mm,
it puts you 3 days behind schedule.
absolutely.
I get that. That's interesting. And 3 days is a whole day longer than midsummer.
Yes, I mean, you have to understand, we really only have 2 real days in the entire year in Sweden, so three
Right.
days is a lot for us.
It feels very long.
Very long.
Yeah. So since you've been here, do you are you living in Little Sweden, or have they sort
Yes,
of
I live in Little
ostracized you?
Sweden,
Okay.
but, you know, I walk down the stairs. Little Sweden is just one apartment building, by the way.
Okay. That makes sense.
And it's the apartment building above this store here.
Oh, okay. Very nice. So
So I
you're kind
enter
of
through the back and I wave to everybody and I say Guten Morgen to you and Guten Morgen to you and hello to you and I say Hi Fjord and I say Hi Bjuk and I say Hi Kjukke and everybody, ignore me completely. And they walk out through the back
Oh,
door of the store here because you have to
mhm.
enter and exit through the store to get in and out of the apartment building.
That makes sense.
And they put their head down and they don't look at me.
They don't look at you.
Yes, because Little Sweden, being on top of my Swedish candy store and Swedish
Hmm.
candy being sort of the thing that got me into this mess in the first place, it sort of just
True.
conjures lots of bad memories for them.
Right. Yeah. So every day they're kind of walking in and remembering you and Swedish candy and what that sort
And
of
when I
means.
threw up all over them and it trapped them on the deck, and then, we went through 3 extra days of rainy weather, so they were getting rained on the entire time. And then we
Oh,
had to come to the dock and buy a bunch of anti adhesive, and it had to take all of our monies. And they didn't accept euros at the store, so then I had to barter that with
uh-oh.
them, and in turn, we actually had to sell lots of our clothing, and then, all of the above.
That is a lot of above.
It was a
Kind of like
very.
how little Sweden is above
is all
us right
above
now.
us right now. Yes.
Got it. Yeah, that's not, it doesn't sound great.
No, it
I,
was a bad. It was a bit of a rough start, and then
right,
having no customers until this very moment, that has been
right,
hard on me as well. It's been hard on Stephen, and also Leaf makes some great and very strong glue that I use to repair your tooth. Being without my
right.
closest friend Leaf has also been very difficult.
Very difficult. And you've made no new closer friends, it seems,
No,
obviously,
none at all,
because
because
they're
they
not
all
speaking
hate
to
me.
you. Right. I'm so sorry to hear that. It sounds kind of terrible. I guess what are you kind of hoping for the future? Are you hoping to stay here longer, or do you feel like 7, 8 months is kind of all you've got?
Miss Caitlin, before today, I was thinking maybe this would be my last midsummer in the United States of America.
So
And
first
I'll
and
just
last.
go back to ice farming in Sweden, or maybe work in the IKEA factory like my father. And
Mhm.
although, as you expressed, building furniture in the IKEA factory is similar to building Legos, and that is something I find to be very exciting,
Mhm.
this conversation and the ability that you've given me to sort of vent to you
Mhm.
has really shown me the beauty of the American culture, which is
Wow.
that together we are one. It doesn't matter that I'm Swedish, it just matters that I'm a person.
Right. And you're starting a business and you're trying.
Trying my hardest.
That's great. Well, then
So
I
I
guess
will
I
be
have a
staying and continuing to build my life here. That's the answer to your
amazing.
question, of course.
That's a good answer. I'm glad you're gonna stick it out. And then I guess that kind of makes me ask another question, which is which holiday are you planning on celebrating tomorrow? Because, it's midsummer, but it's also 4th of July, and I just wondered like what you think you might do for that holiday. Will you do like a combination or one over
Well,
the
Miss
other?
Caitlin, I think I have the answer. Right here. See this very special box of gummy birds?
Yeah,
Look what kind of bird is inside.
a bald eagle.
A gummy bald eagle. It's
Do
sort
you
of the
make these?
perfect marriage between my Swedish culture and your American culture.
That is so sweet, Stephen. I
So
think
that
people
I
are gonna
can.
really like that.
Yes, and we can all celebrate Midsummer 4th of July together.
That is so sweet. Are you guys having like a block party in Little Sweden for Midsummer?
Yes, well, we'll probably be in the staircase. And hopefully,
Okay.
if I show them my box of gummy bald eagles, they can overcome the hatred they have for me for that incident that occurred on the boat.
Yes,
And
I hope so.
they'll be
I mean,
reminded that all we really have at the end of the day is each other.
that's a good point. That's a very uplifting way of looking at things, you know? Because I guess I'm one that's a little more prone to revenge. And
Ooh.
I would think to maybe, I don't know, give them a taste of their own medicine and
Well,
have them throw up
Caitlin,
from the bald eagles.
Miss Caitlin, I didn't think of it this way, but you are my closest friend here in America.
Of
Is it
course.
the American way to enact revenge on your enemies?
Yes, that tends to be what we do here,
Hmm. So,
especially for 4th of July.
especially for 4th of July.
You have to claim your independence from Little
From the
Sweden.
rest of the people in Little Sweden who want to keep me down because I threw up on them on the boat?
Yes, because it's unfair that they're giving you the silent treatment when you're the one who's trying to start a business here,
And
you
bring a little
know?
piece of Sweden to America.
Exactly. I think you're doing a good thing and they're not understanding that.
So maybe that's it then, Miss Caitlin. I would poison all of the people.
I think that's exactly what you should do.
But what kind of poison should I use?
Hmm. Do you have a favorite Swedish kind?
Swedish kind of poison. Well, one time when my dad was getting particularly stressed out after a day at the IKEA factory, he came
Right.
home and he found a bottle of fermented lingonberry juice underneath the cupboard. It had been there for who knows how long, and he drank it, and he threw up everywhere because it was probably spoiled.
That's interesting.
So
So that
maybe if
could be a good technique.
a little spoiled lingonberry juice,
Just a little spoiled lingonberry juice. Maybe mix that with the glue, put it in a mold, make some new
bald
bald
eagles.
eagle, and then send them on their way.
But that sounds like a plan, Miss Caitlin. The
I
only
think it
problem
does.
is I don't think I can afford to buy any lingonberries yet because I haven't made my first sale.
Well, then today's your lucky day.
Miss Caitlin.
I'll take 50 of your bald eagles,
That's a very special number here in the United States, as I understand.
50 states, but also, and this is a merging of our US and Swedish cultures, Leaf carried 50 kilos of ice.
But
So
that
it's
just
kind of like that.
shook me to my core, Miss Caitlin. That
Hmm.
really tugged on the heartstrings.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. You gotta glue your heart back together, type thing. But I think this is kind of perfect because, I haven't met Tyler's closest friend,
Hmm.
but if I know anything about Tyler, he is a patriot. And so I imagine his closest friend is too. And I think it will be a great Fourth of July holiday gift because I didn't get anything for him yet, and I know it's a big deal for him. And so it's probably a big deal for his closest friend, and he's my closest friend, so I want to be, kind to what he likes and what he wants. So I think this is kind of a perfect mixing of my old closest friend, and his close friend, and then a new close friend that I've met today.
Well, Miss Caitlin, this has really lit me up.
Hmm.
I'm so excited to make this first purchase. Do you have your euro note?
Yep. Let me just scrounge around in my wallet. I'm sure I have one left over from something. Surely.
Oh, there it is. Perfect.
There it is.
All
Time to
right.
glue it up on the wall.
I'm going to paste it on the wall using the elk glue from Leaf. There it is, Miss Caitlin.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Oh wait, actually I have to take it down because I have to use it to buy the lingonberries to poison my neighbors. So we'll paste the next euro up. No
The next one
problem.
can go up.
The next
No
euro will
issue.
go. No problem.
No problem.
It can wait. And
It can wait.
here is your bag of gummy birds.
Thank you. These look delicious, and I can't wait for him to try them.
I hope your friend Tyler enjoys.
I hope so too. This has been a really nice time. It's been good to talk to you, and thank you for sharing your culture with me.
It's wonderful to meet you, Miss Caitlin.
I'm
All
sure I'll be
right,
back. Have a
get
lovely
on your way
midsummer
now. Happy Midsummer and happy 4th of July.
to you as well.
All right, bye there, Miss Caitlin.
Goodbye. Bye bye. Bring, 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 bring.
Hey, Caitlin.
Hi, Tyler. Hey. Okay, so I got the candy for your friend.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
yeah, for your guests. So I'm excited. I'm excited to meet them. I think you'll really like this. It's fun. You'll really like it.
Okay, is it
Yeah.
like is it like Swedish candy? Because I've been seeing that all over TikTok.
It Funny enough, it actually is, but you're gonna love it because it has an American twist to
Well,
it.
that's phenomenal. Because I was just thinking I would feel wrong eating Swedish candy on the 4th of July.
Right. But actually this is so interesting. I was talking to the guy at the Swedish candy. It's Stephenson's Swedish Candy Emporium in Little
Oh, okay.
Sweden. here in the city. You should check it out sometime.
I
It's
didn't even know
great.
we had a little Sweden.
It's like brand new, like 7 8 months.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's just this one building. They're great. It's soon going to be a much smaller community, but I shouldn't get into that too much.
Okay.
Just keep an eye on the news, I'm sure. But it's a great shop. He's doing kind of some fusion things, and I didn't know this, but did you know Midsummer is also tomorrow?
Really? I love Midsummer.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, I've always had so much fun, celebrating that in kind of like a quirky way. But I just didn't realize it was a real holiday that was on an actual day.
That's amazing.
I know. So,
Oh, so we'll get to do like a little like 4th of July Midsummer celebration.
yes, exactly. And the treat I've gotten for you and your closest friends will be perfect for that.
That's amazing. My okay, so I also needed to tell you my closest friend actually ended up canceling today.
Oh
Um
shit.
so I guess we can eat, we'll just like hang out and eat candy, I guess. I mean, unless you can
Okay.
think of like, or do you have like a replacement maybe for the episode?
Um, I mean, like, I had my voice recorder on the whole time
The whole time
because
you were
I
at the Swedish candy store?
at the Swedish candy store. Yeah, just because I was like, when I was walking in, I had just come up with this like new poem idea. So I was kind of like I was like reading, I was like kind of saying some ideas out loud to my voice memo, and I completely forgot it was still playing. Went in there, had like honestly probably like a 40-minute conversation with that guy. He was
Wow.
great, super interesting. Um, so honestly, we could probably just upload that if we wanted to.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll just like take the
Yeah.
weekend off because it's a holiday. It's 2 holidays.
Yay. It's two, so we could honestly, yeah, we could take a long weekend even
Okay.
if
Wait,
we
one
wanted
thing
to.
before I hang up. I was just you
Totally.
said that you were working on like a poem idea. Do you like have to, can I hear it, or is it like still kind of being worked around?
It's like mostly still being workshopped, um, but I could give you like a little teaser if you wanted.
That would be amazing.
Okay. Um, oh, on this day, the eve of the fourth,
Mm.
how I wish it was warm,
Mm.
how I wish the cold thawed.
Mm.
And you know what's so weird is that's all I came up with, and I was confused about what that even could mean at
Yeah.
first. Then I walk into Steven's Swedish Candy Emporium, and he's like, "Oh, Midsummer, like we celebrate it. It's like on the same weekend as the 4th of July. Like it's the one day that snow melts." So I was like, "That's so weird that I
That's
like thought of that poem right
amazing.
before going in there."
You like prognosticated it.
A little bit, yeah.
Poetry is really incredible.
It is. I mean, it just like it can really speak to a person.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm gonna go. I'll see you soon, and we'll just like eat candy and hang out and like celebrate the 4th and Midsummer and all the above.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it'll
Okay.
be great.
All
I'll
right.
just come over. Okay, I'll see
Okay.
you soon then.
Bye. See
Okay.
you soon. Bye bye.